Hey everyone, welcome back. In this Karate UI Automation Framework tutorial, we are going to learn about the PDF function in Karate UI Automation. So we have understood about the screenshot function and understood about many of the scenarios wherein you can capture screenshot, display it in the report or ignore it in the report or save it separately in the file, right? Now PDF function is very important and very useful, but there are some issues with the PDF function. So I'll explain you all of that in case you come up with these issues. So it looks like these are kind of either the defects or things are not set up properly. So if you go to the PDF function, basically what it will do is you will use it rarely in your automation framework because screenshot is good enough, right? But this functionality is really good, and that's why I thought I'll go ahead and cover it. Now what this will do is PDF function will do is it will create a paginated PDF document from the page that is loaded, right? So kind of the screenshot, but the whole pagination of the loaded page will be done and will be basically saved as a PDF file. So that's absolutely cool functionality. But then if your web page is very large, I have noticed that if the web page is very large, it's not able to process that and create the PDF, right? So that's kind of a known thing that I have noticed, that it's not very stable function. But please go ahead and understand how you are going to use it in future. When this one stabilizes, it will definitely help you in case you want to use it in your automation framework to save the PDF files from the loaded page. Okay, now the first thing I have noticed is that if you are using let me start creating the feature file first. Okay, so we have used this capture screenshot. Let me copy this capture screenshot file and I'll create a new file and I will say that create PDF, right? Create PDF.feature, and let me open create PDF file, close this capture screenshot. And here what I have noticed is if I use this default MS Edge browser that is installed on my machine to run it, okay, it doesn't work. It doesn't work with the Chrome. You won't be able to generate the PDF file if you are using the Chrome, whether it's default or the Chrome driver. The only driver that I have got it working is the Firefox driver, Gecko Driver. Okay, so that's what I'll show you here, and rest it is always going into exception, not getting me the correct PDF, or basically it's not even generating the PDF. It just gets interrupted in between and the script stops. So you can keep trying it. Maybe in further releases this will be fixed, but then it is not so highly used feature, so I suspect that this will be even looked at that high priority. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to basically here use the Gecko driver, right? So we will use configure driver. Okay, so let me use the configure driver from this driver, right? Because it's kind of, we have to provide the executable and the type is Gecko driver, right? So we'll simply copy that and paste it here. Okay, and the next thing is now my website here, the training.rcvacademy.com, it's a pretty long web page. So even if it is a long web page, the PDF generation fails and it is not successful. Okay, so what I have done here is I have this lorem ipsum page, right? This is one of the dummy text website. So if I simply use it, it's pretty small page here. So if I will simply use that lorem ipsum web page, that will get converted. Basically whatever the page will be loaded, it will be saved as a PDF. Okay, so what we have to use here is now not the screenshot, we have to use the PDF function. So in order to create a paginated PDF, what we have to do is we have to simply use the PDF function and then set the orientation. So landscape or portrait. Okay, so let me copy here. So first thing is we are defining a variable PDF doc. Okay, and then using the PDF function, we are specifying in the parenthesis which orientation we want that PDF to be, right? So landscape is something we are looking for, and then we are simply writing this variable. So basically it will store the byte stream that will get created, and that's stored in this variable, and then that byte stream is being written into the actual file.pdf file, okay, in the second step. So these are the only two steps that you will need in order to write or basically load convert the paginated page, HTML page, into a PDF document, right? So it will basically get stored as a PDF doc.pdf. Okay, so if I simply use those two statements there. Okay, and that's pretty much it. So let me remove everything else which is from the other file. So basically here, if you'll see, I'm loading this file, this page, and then I'm delaying purposely so that we can see the page has been loaded. Then I'm basically converting, or basically hitting the PDF function with the orientation landscape. So this will capture the whole web page that is loaded, and that byte stream will be stored in the PDF doc, and then we'll be writing this PDF doc variable, whatever content is there that is captured by this function, into the pdf.pdf file, right? This is the actual PDF that you will be able to see, right? That gets saved. Now here you can specify any of the variable. I can say 1 here, and then even for the file I can specify any of the name there. Okay, so it doesn't matter basically. So simply save this file, and now let's go ahead and run this and see that the PDF gets generated in the target folder here. Okay, so let me run this as a Cucumber feature. So it is opening the browser. It should open the page here. So it has opened the page, the website page, and now it should try to fetch all of the content on the loaded page, on this HTML page, and move it to the PDF file. So it has been, it's a small page, so it has successfully ran the code. Okay, so it has finished now, and if I go and refresh this target folder, right, you will see PDF document.pdf, which is the name of the document that we specified here, has been generated. Okay, and it's available in the target folder. If you go to the report, karate summary.report, everything is green, all good, and you will see that it has actually written the file to target PDF document.pdf. If you open this PDF document.pdf, you will see that all the content that was there on the website, on the loaded page, is now transferred into a PDF file, and PDF file got generated. Right, so very cool feature of Karate UI automation framework. But then if I change it to the Chrome driver, say for example, I want to run this test in the Chrome driver and specify Chrome driver.exe here, this fails. Somehow it is basically not working in creating the PDF document. Neither it created for me in the Edge browser. The only browser that I'm able to successfully create the PDF is the Gecko driver. Okay, so if you want to explore a little bit around this PDF document generation, go ahead and practice in different browsers. See whether it works for Chrome driver for you and Edge browser for you, and comment if it is actually working or if you have done something differently, right? So let's explore and see if it is an actual issue. We can report it to Karate team and they can look into it, right? So please go ahead, practice with different browser, but the pattern, the approach will remain absolutely same. You just have to run the test in other browser. Rest everything is going to remain absolutely same, and PDF should get generated for the loaded web page. Okay, so you can see how cool the functionality is. It can really be helpful if you want to capture the whole content of the page as a PDF document. Okay, so that's all for this tutorial. I hope this was helpful. Thank you very much for watching.